Hello again, thanks for choosing us. This is the home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. If you haven't registered your SIM card yet, then be ready to have it blocked in a matter of hours. Just days ago, the National Identification Authority said it was unable to clear the backlog of unregistered persons before the September 30 deadline for applicants to register their SIM cards. That's today. Many Ghanaians are trooping to various registration centers for both the NIA and the telcos. We'll take you round shortly, but first, Mona Lisa from Pond sent us this report from Kumasi.
Today is the deadline for the SIM card re-registration, and people have come here in a rush to get their SIM cards registered. Let's go over to find out why they waited to the deadline to get their SIM cards registered.
Last week, baby, and I signed baby. Me, the employer may ready so my picture, so my sending message said, picture and try.
I have been here for 3 weeks, but I've been unable to register. They say my registration was not complete.
I think early part of August, Minister Nebeka, I don't know, one take your advantage.
I was away. That is why I am here, as it's the deadline.
It was not deliberate. My registration was not complete. I've been here for several hours.
It will maybe not about center, and you punch any happy. Then also then one take your advantage. And
the hospital. I've been sick throughout the month. That is why I am unable to register. I've been here since morning, but the queue is still not moving. I am unable to register. I was switched to another network.
Two times. Like my registered and I ban me registered. This me be complete.
I did not know messages were sent across to complete the SIM registration.
I think I'll download the self-SIM registration app maybe on phone. So now then also I didn't know when to me
my MTN was last. I'm 2 SIMs to my community. I'm downloading on my man. It is our first one. I'm registering. The second one I'm registering.
For those who may not be able to get their SIM card registered today, a number of them who spoke off camera say they will throw their SIM cards away if they are unable to. From Kumasi for JoyNews, Mona Lisa from Pond reporting.
Well, here in Accra, my colleague Michael Papania-Shale reports that some centers were unable to register because they do not have the necessary systems, and the system we understand is down in those areas. We'll be going live shortly to speak to my colleague Michael Papania-Shale, who is at some of the telcos, their registration points, to speak to some Ghanaians who have trooped there. But earlier, he was at the LWAC Stadium, where the NIA has its center registering people for the Ghana card, which is a requirement for the registration of SIMs. We'll be hearing from those people, some of them who are very much livid because they claim they've been there for days, if not months, all in a bid to get their Ghana card so they could register for the SIM. But as you may know, some people last month, after their SIM cards were blocked, dragged government to court. A lawyer for one of them, for some of them, joins us on the line. Abdul Ghaffar Ali is lawyer for some of their aggrieved persons who dragged the NCA to court for blocking their SIM cards, and he joins us live on the phone. Mr. Gafaru, thank you very much for your time here on News Desk. And so we understand that the initial case was withdrawn and a new one filed. What informed that move?
Well, thanks so much for having me. I mean, we filed the first one on Thursday, 22nd, but after filing, we noticed there were some issues with what we had filed, and so we discontinued that on Monday, and then we filed it, which have been served on both the NCA and then also the Attorney General's Department. There is an application for an interlocutory injunction, which has been fixed for the 6th of October, and I am informed that both respondents have been served with that as well.
And so just for purposes of clarity, your clients are those who do not have the Ghana card at all?
Yes. As of the time that we filed, none of them had received the Ghana card, even though they had all applied for Ghana card. And let me also emphasize that beyond the 9 applicants, there are a lot more Ghanaians who are similarly placed. And so it is not just a question of whether or not my 9 applicants have received the Ghana card, but as you may be aware, there are a lot more Ghanaians in Ghana who have still not been able to receive the Ghana card for the purpose of registering their SIM card.
When is the application for the interlocutory injunction to be heard?
It's been fixed for the 6th of October, and both the Attorney General and the NCA have all been served with an injunction.
But that will be late in the day. Do you know if the NCA is respecting at least the filing of the process? Because, I mean, once it's not been heard, it's not been granted.
No, I know that both the NCA and the Attorney General have very good lawyers. And so once that they have been served, I would hope that they will get, and I have no doubt that they will get advice from their lawyers as to what to do.
So what are the reliefs you are seeking from the court ultimately?
For now, our focus is on the interlocutory injunction, which is to restrain them from going ahead to carry out the threat that they issued in their press release.
Very well. Thank you very much. We'll leave it here. That's Gafaru Ali, his lawyer, for some 9 persons who have dragged the NCA and government to court. They're trying to get them not to go ahead with the process of blocking their SIM cards because they have not registered. 9 of his clients actually do not have the Ghana card, which is a prerequisite for the registration of SIM cards. Let's go live now and speak to my colleague, Michael Papaniashale. He's at some of the registration centers. Michael, what's happening where you are?
Yes, currently I am at Osu Oxford Street, and we have some of the telcos here. I mean, the numbers are not the same for all the telcos. From your shot, you can see that the number is quite huge at the other end. Many people have to resort to standing in the blazing sun, waiting for the opportunity to register their SIM card. Bearing in mind that today is the last day for the SIM card re-registration exercise. Some of these people have been telling me they're only getting their Ghana card, and this is the only opportunity that there's a lady here that I'll speak to who's here to escort her aged mother to go through the process here. So you can see some individuals here. I mean, for this particular telco, branded in red, they don't have so many people coming through. The pressure is less. And you can see that elderly individuals like my mother here, I mean, seated, waiting their turn to go through the process. I feel SIM card.
Oh, wale stroke for me. There were me my backpack, maybe I came back. I had the date line. I can call bar, I register about your number, all the level. When it's a came up.
Well, and more she's been telling me that she's taking a long time to come because earlier she was down with stroke, but now she's able to come here. She's hoping to beat the deadline, but she's not here alone. She's here with the assistance of her daughter, I want to believe, who's helping her go through the process. She also has some SIM cards too. Before I speak to her, I can't folk near me. See me register when you register on your Ghana card? She get a for me, o card o SIM card on for me. Men are going to have
Mi boko, mi le noni baba wose.
Card lay in Abona. So she tells me that the card is very important for her. Again, I was saying that she was in the accompaniment of her daughter. Her daughter tells me that she's been around for days. How long have you been chasing your Ghana card?
Long time.
Say put it into months or days.
Oh, like months. Hey, more than 6 months.
Wow, and you are now getting it?
Only 3 days. No, I get it.
But again, you're not registering just for Vodafone, right?
No.
You are registering how many other SIM cards?
2.
So you're using 3 SIM cards? And this is the first one they are going through?
Yeah.
I mean, if it was cancelled, what would have been the effect on you?
To me, I don't have any problem. If they cut me, I don't have any problem at all. Then I'll stop using the normal. I'll just go for new one. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so this is for one of the telecommunication companies at Osu Oxford Street. I paint a very good picture of what is happening at the other end here. Not so much queue. Yeah, you can even see through the glass and you know what exactly is happening here. So, I mean, at the other end, you have the other telecommunications company branded in yellow, and you get a picture of the sense of the pressure on them, quite different from the first one here. And the queue, like I said, some people have to up to stand in the sun. Not an option that they have though, but I'll try and speak to some of them, of course, which I believe some of them have been coming here for days. It's been a very difficult process for them, but this is their deadline day. It's a make or break process. If you don't register today, there's a high chance that you're going to be losing your SIM card. That is if you go by the words of the Communications Minister, Esla Owusu. Mommy, how long have you been coming here?
I just came here today.
Just came here today. But why are you not coming to register your SIM card?
Because I don't have the Ghana card.
But now you have your Ghana card?
No.
So how are you going to register?
I've come for them to solve the problem for me because I don't have the Ghana card. So I've been here to know whether something can be done for me.
But the minister is emphatic. The only document you are accepting is your Ghana card. I mean, is it that you've prayed about it, or there's a vision that you have that they're going to do it for you?
I made the Ghana card, but still it's not out, so I have to come to the MTN office.
Sorry, I didn't get your name.
Sadia Smiler.
Sadia, so if I'm getting you right, you've registered for your Ghana card, you haven't gotten it, but you are here regardless, hoping that you are going to go through the SIM card registration exercise. I don't give you a special dispensation, register you.
For that one, I can't.
What would be the net effect on you if you lost your SIM card?
I will lose a lot of contacts and even lost plenty job because I've been expecting some job out to be called me. So it will be a very headache for me if nothing has been done for me.
Sadia, thank you very much. Yes, so Sadia here is hopeful that they'll register her regardless whether she has a Ghana card or not. She's not the only one here. Mommy, how long have you been coming here? Well, she wouldn't speak to me here, but this is the other telco. At least I see some people seated outside here waiting their turn to register their SIM cards. Some of them, I want to believe, have their Ghana card. How long have you been here? Okay, great. Some of them wouldn't speak to me, but I guess some people who are willing to do that. Okay.
Anura ya betina sa so abuya sa anura me ba 8 o'clock me free at 3 o'clock me nsanka ena so ma samba me betina musa ma to me store free anura nyina me mbie me store we nu ntina me betina sa so omo so na to akanya djuma ti ya tumu sa ya nim de abaye
Inti ndra ba ha nsuo no bo ena so ba ha
anane 3 days me ba ma ba ya la sa no po de me du hono ya se Ghana karampa me we fi me Ghana kan timanfa ana me san ko fie anu asoso ma samba anu me du 8 o'clock me tina mo sa bo 3 o'clock kan sa na me free omo so no to akanya djuma ana me soro ko ye ana pa we asoso ma samba me du 8:30 tina me to almost not to work in your Jumantina to one.
And then as was about Habium.
I know me ba, and none 3 days me ba, and no me ba, and Nessus my bar.
I didn't know now about SIM card registered you.
My head dad, so I know more block and no more block media almost say ambassador and Munte was in Samba yet, until a mass hambano.
It is an obey them almost way.
I saw much on their samba from so I know Munquan but Malqua life for.
Now she tells me that she's been here for a couple of days. Now 3 days she tells me, and every single time she's had to endure hardship, including the surprising rains that just falls at any time. At Osu Oxford Street, she's lucky to be under this tent, but regardless, she gets a fair share of the rains. Very frustrated, I want to put that across as well. That's a gentleman who also speak to me. Daddy, what's your name?
Oh, Banjo, you're from Kwame.
Kwame. For how long?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last year, sir, a year, and I'm baying would have from her year. Be any and now I'm a buyer. Last year, me buy 9 o'clock, me feel at 2 o'clock. Me register what them her year. Baye Bosumeni, no Bosume crab to his mom, I sent me message. Say, may you name your memra. Last 3 days. Me call UTC on my branch never hono. Me call Quatran, yes, network in Yejuma. Me free ho. And now me buy Vodafone here. Me buy it, me no 15 minutes in one register me the man say Vodafone Yejuma, all right. Me buy Betran have you. Me name me you can say a year. A Betran has a network in Yejuma, bra. Now so obi ba beto card is see your register man and the same network. Obi beto card make what UTC hono. Me need to enye say one more beto card me a register my omo new card. And we dey eye adwuma na mo wa ukuta eye no eno dey enye adwuma. And na me fi ha me do 5 junction osu 5 junction me penny back or be register wo agent be was so can kire ni say so auto new card dey obet me register man na new papa na register one okoye.
Wow, great. I'll come back to you. I'll ask you what next you're going to be doing about this. So he's been telling me that just like the lady we spoke to earlier, he's been coming here for days, but he's not been able to register. Earlier, he tells me about a year ago, he registered his SIM cards, the Vodafone and that of the MTN. He was only sent messages a few days ago that there's been blocked, so he has to come. But for Vodafone, it took him about 15 minutes. But that of the MTN is taking him days to go through that process here. Now he's alleging that for people who are getting new SIM cards, that you get to the SIM card registered as soon as possible. You need to buy it. But for those who already have SIM cards like him, it's difficult to get it registered. How long have you been here? And time and Obaha.
And I'm about 8 o'clock. Bra me here Juma. Me Juma Castle. Last year me Juma sa betra. Last 3 days me Juma kwatra UTC. And no man and then so my ba 8 o'clock. Me te ha me nim time me free. Ni nyina me Juma o. Na se me ko.
That's a live feed there from the Osu Oxford Street. My colleague Michael actually interacting with some persons who have trooped the telcos, the registration centers there to register their SIMs. Many of them frustrated, some hoping for some special dispensation to allow them onto the portal. Well, if you're also hoping that the deadline will be extended, my colleague Raymond Aqua spoke to the Director of Legal for the National Communications Authority, Poku Edusei. He says for now, the directive still stands.
State without equivocation that the minister will have to eat the humble pie.
What happened was that when you are going to court, normally you start with a process to invoke the jurisdiction of the court. The predominant mode of invoking the jurisdiction of the court is through the use of a writ of summons, right? But another effective way, especially when it comes to applications, is through motions. And in this case, anytime you file a motion, by the rules of court, you have to support it with your story. And that story is actually narrated through the affidavit evidence you are supplying to the court. So that affidavit, by the rules of court, has to be sworn, signed by the deponent, the one who is deposing to the facts as the person knows, and it has to be sworn before a commissioner for oath with all the attachments or all the evidence or exhibits also certified as exhibits of attached to the affidavit. So when we received the application, the motion, we realized that they had not commissioned the affidavit. So it means that the originating process they had adopted had a fundamental defect, which went to the jurisdictional court, and we raised that point in our process against it. But before it could be heard, they decided to withdraw. Well, no case will be determined before tomorrow, but we are aware, even though I'm yet to be given a copy formally through the service processes, that that case which was withdrawn, they had sought to remedy that defect by refiling it. This time around, making sure that the Commissioner for Oath has actually endorsed the document that they did before filing. So once we are giving copies formally, we will respond to it. What I can say is that the directive was issued more than a month ago, so that's a completed act. And until the contrary information is provided, directive is given to me, there's no way that directive can be reversed. So the decision to go to court now is actually after the fact, because the directive was long issued, and there's no way we are going to issue anything from what I.
So there you have it. It won't be reversed. Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Sam George and policy analyst Salon Brantier have been speaking to my colleague Evans Mensah about the deadline today. They're threatening legal action.
Let me state without equivocation that the minister will have to eat the humble pie. The minister will have to realize that she serves the people of this republic and that the people of this republic are not her subjects. It broke my heart to hear a Ghanaian have to board a plane from wherever he was outside the country to come to Ghana to pay his card because the minister is simply inefficient and incompetent. She's registering SIM cards. She's put a deadline. She knows that there are Ghanaians who are serving their country in missions outside this country. The Ghanaians who are resident outside this country. And she has not given them an opportunity to register their SIM cards or any opportunity, any available portal to register their SIM cards. Because if you use an iOS device, you can't use that self-service app. If you use an Android device, the app itself is unable to handle the traffic. You have a minister who set a deadline without looking at the robustness of the platform she's using to do the registration, which is what you're hearing again from the Vox Pops that you played. The network operators complain of network challenges. Those network challenges are not the telcos networks. It's a third-party application that the minister is insisting is used to do the registration. Again, you have a minister who set a deadline without any recourse to persons living with disability in Ghana who have no fingerprints and so cannot be registered using fingerprints. She says she's going to disconnect their line. I mean, if you have a minister who is so technically bereft of competence to execute a simple policy initiative like a SIM registration, you have this mess. And I know for certain the technical people at her disposal are making it clear to her that her position is recalcitrant, it is untenable, and is inimical to the growth of the sector. Evans, take my word, 1st of October will come. The SIM cards will still be active because it cannot, you cannot just block the SIM cards that way. And Evans, we filed a suit on Monday with 9 Ghanaian citizens who have registered, some who have registered for the Ghana card since 2018 but have not received the Ghana card. Do you believe that as soon as we made public the rates with their names, between yesterday and today, the NIA has called those individuals, given them a VIP treatment and handed over their Ghana cards to them?
We cannot live in a country where a minister can use a state agency or a sector regulator as a linchpin to inflict pain and suffering on the people of Ghana. It is very, very shocking and sad that over the past 1 month that all of this has happened, The only statement we have heard from her officially was that horrible Facebook statement she made, about a month ago, saying that people's negligence, the people are to blame for their own negligence, forgetting that this is a cross-sectoral matter which has a lot of factors beyond her control and beyond her ambit and beyond even what the capacity of her organization, which is the ministry, can do. So to the extent that you are using the regulator as a tool to push whatever agenda you wish to push, it is very, very pathetic, and it's actually a bit, I should use the word, insulting to the average Ghanaian who has had to go through all these inconveniences, all these, hurdles, just to be able to do something that is out of their reach. This is the 21st century. Ghanaians should never take pride in queuing for anything to the extent of queuing to the point where they are frustrated.
You're watching JoyNews Dex with me, Anna Smith.